Wednesday, May 24th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So I like to talk about a new token or crypto coin or currency, if you want to call it that. I have made a video in the past about, the dot-com bubble in the mid-late 90s and how that ended up. A lot of companies, disappeared, but Amazon, for example, now it's one of the biggest companies in the world. So there is, in my opinion, cryptocurrencies out there that will do well. There will be a lot of volatility. Right now, if it is kind of a bubble, it's getting ahead of itself, in my opinion. But I think you need to look at cryptocurrencies more in the long term and not as a trade. I think it's almost impossible to trade it at the moment, or, it's just a long-term thing. So this new coin, it's been under an initial coin offering, which is basically like the equivalent of an initial public offering for, securities on Wall Street. It's the period where people, big clients and big investors can buy into the company before it goes public. So it's been under that since April 25th, I think. And I think the last day is tomorrow. And after that, it will go public and you can buy into Veritasium. I'm going to put a video above by the creator of Veritasium, and you can click on it on the little eye and listen to him. Reggie Middleton, he's a really clever guy. He's been, in the markets for ages. He's been a guest of Max Kaiser on RT, very clever. And I have to thank, though, JSnip4 for this, because he made a video, I think, yesterday about this. I hadn't heard of Veritasium. That's how quickly things move in the crypto space. And I think Veritasium is going to be like Steemit. Steemit is challenging, in my opinion, the social media space, because it's got, it combines social media with the blockchain. And Veritasium is going to challenge the investment banking model of Wall Street in the city of London, because it's going to allow peer-to-peer contracts. I could go on, get a Veritasium access to this. It's basically a software and a program that allows you to deal with another counterparty who wants to do the opposite of what you want to do. Let's say I need to, I want to buy IBM calls, in 6 months' time. I want to put $20,000 worth at such a strike. And then I can find someone who wants to do the opposite. And we do the contract and it doesn't cost anything. That's the thing. But to have access to this software, you need to have the tokens, which is Veritasium. So that's Reggie Middleton's model. Cut down all the transaction costs, make it very cheap for people to deal with each other. And Veritasium also advises people, and they've got all the, know-how and technology. So I'll read a little bit about here Veritasium. It's called the tear sheet, Veritas or Veritasium tear sheet, and it says, description: Veritasium is a smart contracts-based peer-to-peer wallet interface that currently interacts with Bitcoin blockchain to be ported to Ethereum. So yeah, right now, if before the end of the day tomorrow you want to get into the ICO, I'll put a link below, and you can, with your Ethereum wallet, you can buy into this ICO. It's not necessary, in my opinion. I think it's just the beginning. When Amazon had its IPO, you would have done well if you were able to do the IPO, but you still are way ahead today if you'd bought it after the IPO. So I wouldn't want people to rush into it. But I'll read into it. It allows non-technical individuals and entities to quickly create, enter, and manage smart contracts directly with others without an authoritative third party. It was the first of its kind written on a public or private blockchain. And it says, problem being solved. Financial institutions that control most global transactions have a structural deficiency in their business model. Overcompensation. Up to 60% of gross revenues are paid out to employees. This structural deficiency in the financial entity business model is passed as higher expenses directly to the consumers of financial products and services. These higher expenses tend to manifest themselves in manners encompassing more than just greater cost, higher transaction friction, conflicts of interest, material counterparty, credit risk, etc. So this is a big challenge to Wall Street, to the City of London, to Frankfurt, to investment banks, to brokerages. It's making financial know-how cheaply available to anyone in the world who has this Veritasium token. And Reggie Middleton's model is that the way he wants to profit from this is that the token will be worth a lot, because to use this software to interact peer-to-peer in capital markets, you're going to have the token. So he's making the technology of the software and the program and the transactions very, very cheap. Any Tom and Dick and Harry could go into a transaction, but the access is through the token. So I think this is a really big deal. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be other competing tokens to Reggie Middleton, but I think Reggie Middleton is a serious guy, and I think it's going to be a bit like Steemit, I think, but Steemit is on the social, media side, but Veritasium is going to be on the capital market side. And I think it's quite exciting, all this. And I think we're like not even in the first inning of the game. I think we're still in spring training before the season starts. People are still in spring training, picking the teams. It's really early days. So I'll put all the links below to Veritasium, and you do need an Ether wallet if you want to get in the ICO before the 26th. That's the last day of the ICO, and after that it will become publicly traded, this Veritasium. Other than that, cryptocurrency is still doing really well. Bitcoin near the all-time high right now, 2,327. The high is 2,330. LITECOIN doing really well. It's at 33.59, up 4%. Ethereum 186. WorldCoin is saying that Ethereum got to a high of 747 in the last 24 hours. That must be a mistake, or strange. Let's see, Steem. How's Steem doing? Steem is up 6.3% at 131, so Steem's still doing really well. And as I said, I think cryptocurrencies, altcoins, tokens, whatever you want to call it, it's going to revolutionize things. The blockchain, technology is going to change things, and it's very long term. I expect a lot of volatility in these. Trading is very difficult, and so Veritasium, I think that's an interesting coin. I like looking at things that have a function. I know Bitcoin is just a coin or money, that's its function, is the first one, but things like Steem and Veritasium interest me, and I think they could be really big potential. Apart from that, the markets this morning, gold is a little weaker, is around 1250. The range has been 1247.80 to 1254. Silver has been, is relatively weak compared to gold. We're below 17 now down 10 cents. It got down to 16.89. And the stock market, as usual, is up. Up 17 points at 20,952, the Dow. Interesting article in Zero Hedge, and they put a clip of a CNBC interview with a ex-trader, I think Asher Edelman. And he's not in the market anymore, but he was talking about the PPT, the plunge protection team, that, whenever the markets get into trouble, they come in. The U.S. Treasury, the Fed, the regulators, and they intervene in the markets. And a lot of people say, oh, that's conspiracy theory, but that's not true, because Reagan did create that after the '87 crash, the Working Group on Financial Markets. And they used the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which was created by Roosevelt to stabilize the value of the dollar. And that fund is probably worth hundreds of billions now. And only the Treasury Secretary has access to that, and him and the President. And I remember, actually, back in 1998, during the Asian crisis, a bit after the Asian crisis, there was a big drop in the S&P and the stock markets. Clinton was president at the time. And I remember one day I was in the office and we had the TV on, the news. I worked for ABN AMRO Futures at the time, watched the markets every day, like I do today, but more closely, I guess. And they had a press briefing at the White House, or press conference. And, the market had been crashing that day, and then it rebounded, and Clinton was there with his aides and advisors. And then you had George Stephanopoulos, who I think was his chief of staff or something like that. And he came into the room, and Clinton looked at him, and I could read his lips, and he went something stock market, I could hear. And George Stephanopoulos just went, I'll get up and show him. He just went like this, and then, left the room. And I thought, that's strange. Why, it's almost like Clinton was asking, how's the stock market? Is everything okay now? And he said, yeah, no problem. So when I've tried to find, clips or videos of that, but it's very difficult. But you have to believe me. I wouldn't tell you that if it wasn't true. But so if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide, subscribe to my channel. Also watch my video on steemit.com at Maneko64. Follow me on Steemit. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.